Hey guys, Jordan Codes here. Today we will be getting started with the new Notion API using Python. You can always build on top of this by referencing the API reference on Notion linked in the description below. Alright, there's going to be a few things that you guys need. First, you're going to need a Notion account. So if you don't have one, it is free, so you can sign up on notion.so. So for this particular video, we're going to be using Python instead of the curl example that is provided in the getting started with Notion. Now I assume that you've made an account at this point. So the first thing you're going to want to go to is developers.notion.com. You're going to have this little button right here in the top right corner. You can go ahead and click it. I have a few here, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to make a new integration so I can show you step by step what you need to do. So go ahead and click the button, and then you're gonna make a name. You don't need a logo, and make sure that is associated with your workspace. So go ahead and click submit, and now you have a integration, and you have one called whatever you named it. Your name will be right here. You have no logo because you didn't have to. If you wanted to, you can, and you will be generated a new secret code. So here it's called internal integration token. So what you're going to want to do, you can put this in a text editor, any type of notepad. I'm on Windows 10. I could use this, but I'm using the IDE. You can use any IDE you like. I just like using VS Code, but I've made a file here called notion.py. And then I've also made a JSON file where I'm going to store my secret token that I was generated from the integration. And here we're going to just store information while we go through the guide. Okay, you guys, I'm using the desktop application. You could use either one. You could use the desktop application, or you could go online on Google Chrome or Firefox, whichever one you use. And here we're going to create a table. I'm inside of a page called Test Notebook, and I'm going to create a table. So you want to put / table, and you're going to see table full page. So go ahead and click on that. From here you can make a name, and I would just name it destination. I'm just kind of copying what they said. They made a name called Weekend Getaway Destinations. You could just name it whatever you want. And then from here you're going to want to share this database with your integration. So what you're going to do in order to do that, you're going to click the share button right here, and then you're going to add people, and you're going to find your integration. I have this is my fourth one already, but you will have just one if you're just getting started. I'm going to click the Python bot, and now you click invite, and now it has access to your workspace. Your integration now has permission to read, write, and edit the new database. Once an integration is added to a workspace, any member can share pages and databases with that integration. There's no requirement to be an admin for this step. All right, so before we move on, before we actually get into the nitty-gritty of the code, we're going to have to get the ID of the database that we just created. So what you're going to want to do here, if you're in a desktop application, you're going to want to click share and copy link. But if you're already on the browser section, it's already going to show like this. And once you're here, you're going to want to get the database ID right before that question mark right here, and then right after the / right here. So you're going to want to get this, copy it, and then store it in your JSON file that I've created. I'm just going to put database. I forgot to put a comma here. Okay. All right, now that we got that, we are almost there, guys. All right, guys, so now we are on the best part of the video, the code. So there's one package or two packages you're gonna need. One package that does not come with Python, but it's a very simple process. I assume that you have pip installed onto your system. If you don't, I have instructions in the description for you to follow in order for you to get the request module. So what you're going to need is you're going to need import JSON. JSON comes with Python already, and then we're going to put comma request. And this is after you've pip installed. I assumed you've done that at this point. And what we're going to do from here, we're just going to store a variable called file, and we're going to open the secret here. Whoops, make sure it's spelled correctly. .json, and then you're going to make another variable called data, and you're going to use the JSON module, and you're going to load that file. You're going to load that file, and then this will load the data from your JSON file. So I'm just gonna put a little comment here, and we're gonna call this like the secret. This is your secret. So I'm gonna store a variable called secret, and I'm gonna get it from the JSON file. So in order to get that, you're gonna get data, the variable, and then from that file, remember that the property, we named the property here ID, and the way to access that, we can do 2 brackets ID. So you got the secret. Now database. Now I'm gonna put database here, and I'm gonna call a new variable called database, and I'm gonna get data again, but instead this time I'm gonna get the second one that I named database here. So we're gonna put database in order to get the database ID. So let me actually put database ID and then secret token here, so it's a little bit more clear when I actually put this on the GitHub. Now you're going to want to close the file. As always, get a variable called URL, and we're going to store it. We're going to store that URL and put it here. I'm gonna call this dictionary. Let me just put a comment here. This is for headers, and then I'm gonna call the dictionary headers, and we're gonna create a dictionary. So authorization, this is for you to authorize yourself. So I'm gonna put the secret here, which is the variable that I called here, and then from here we're gonna want to create a content type, and then we're gonna put application slash JSON. This is on the Getting Started website, so like you get an understanding of what I'm doing here if you kind of look at it side by side. Notion, and then Notion version. This was the recommended version that they put on the example. So we're done with the header. Then here, this is the data input. This is what is this is the info needed to add to the page. So from here, this one's going to be a little long, so I'm going to copy and paste this one, but this one is on the website, so you can just copy and paste it from the website or the GitHub repository that I've provided. I'm going to call this variable called data input, and I'm going to make it a dictionary. See, if you see on the website, on the example here, you're going to see it like this. It's all nested within this whole dictionary. So now that we have that, all right, and this is the best part, the easiest part, a little less than 50 lines of code, pretty easy. Check request, and then you want a response. I want to make a response variable, and you're going to use the request. So we're going to post to the URL, and then we're going to use the headers. Remember the headers, but you have to set this headers equal to the headers that you created here. And then you want to read in the JSON that you created here, which is data input, and you're going to set that in. You could print the response and then print response.json. And just so you guys can see, I'm going to go ahead and run this code, and I'm going to show you that it worked. It will show text, the content, yurts in Big Sur, California. And if you want to see that change reflected, go ahead and go into your database. All right, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe for more content. Also, let me know if you guys would like to go over any additional examples in Notion API or just Notion in general, or even Python. Thank you guys, and hope to see you next time.